today I'm here to bring you another recent reads video. Today is April 18th and I'm planning to post this as soon as I get it all fixed up. I've been working from home for 2 weeks now and it's been really different and weird, but we're making the best of it. I got at least 2 more weeks of working from home and then they're supposed to decide by May 1st when we're going back. But anyway, because I've been home so much, I've been reading, so let's talk about the books. The first book that I finished recently was When the Men Were Gone by Marjorie Herrera Lewis. This is a short historical fiction novel following a woman named Tylene Wilson, who is the assistant principal at Brownwood High School in Brownwood, Texas in 1944, which of course is during World War II. And all of the men in her town have been going off to war, and so they don't have a football coach. So they're going to have to cancel the season unless they find a football coach. And Marjorie is a lover of football. Her father taught her how to play it when she was a kid, and she decides to volunteer to be the football coach. And it being 1944 in Texas, she gets a lot of backlash. The players won't respect her, the townspeople won't respect her. So it's just talking about these challenges she overcame to become the football coach of this town for the 1944-1945 football season. So this was a really interesting book. My one problem with it is that it's too short. This is only 212 pages long. I read it in the course of one morning, last Saturday morning, and it was good, but I never really connected to the characters because it was so short, and the period it covers is only 2 weeks. It covers the first 2 weeks of the school year. It covers the week when Tylene is deciding what to do about coaching, whether she can find someone to coach or whether she should try to coach it herself. And then the second week is the week of practice she and the team has before the first game of the season. And then we read about the first game of the season. And I kind of wish it had been a longer book, or at least it had followed more of the season, so we got to connect more with Tylene and the boys, and we got to see the relationship grow a lot. So this was okay, but it wasn't amazing, and I wouldn't really recommend it unless your library has it and you're looking for a really quick read. Because yeah, it is a nice quick read during this time, but yeah, I was a little disappointed in the formatting of it. The second book that I finished recently was Eleanor of Aquitaine, Alive by Alison Weir. This is just your pretty standard biography about Eleanor of Aquitaine. It starts when she's a young girl and it goes all the way up to her death, and it talks a lot about the political situation of her time because, of course, Eleanor was married to 2 different kings. She was married to Louis of France, and she was also married to Henry II of England, and she was influential, particularly in Henry's kingdom, at times serving as regent for him, and then also later after he died serving as the regent for her sons. And it was fine and interesting, but I will say I felt like it talked a lot more about the men of Eleanor's life than Eleanor herself, and that's not Alison Weir's fault. That's based on the historical record because, of course, there's long periods where there's no mention of Eleanor in any of the documents, and there's no mentions of where she was or what she was doing, and especially in the latter part of her life, Henry II had her imprisoned for conspiracy, and so there's no mention of where she was or what she was doing, so there's a lot of gaps in her life. So it's not Alison Weir's fault, but I just felt like it was this biography was focused a lot on the men, and it was quite surprising because even in the introduction, Alison Weir talks about how previous biographies of Eleanor focus way too much on the men, and she is trying to do something different. But then when you read the book, it doesn't seem like it's that different than what she was complaining about in the introduction. So this was okay, and I think part of my issue with this book comes from the fact that the whole reason I became interested in Eleanor of Aquitaine was because I read Elizabeth Chatwit's Eleanor of Aquitaine trilogy over 2018 and 2019, and of course that is a fictionalized account of her life, and so you get to know Eleanor's internal thoughts, and you get to see her side of the story, and so you get to know her as a person, and so that's why I became interested in her, and so this sort of was like a letdown compared to the trilogy from Elizabeth Chadwick. So that was okay, and I would recommend it if you're interested in a biography of Eleanor of Aquitaine. It just wasn't like as amazing as I was hoping it was going to be. Finally, the most recent book that I finished was The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I finally managed to get back to my parents' house and get my bind up of all three books. I read Fellowship of the Ring as a library book in February. So yeah, I am reading this for the Lord of the Read-a-thon, Lord of the Read-along, which is hosted by Krista from Books and Jams. And we actually had all of April and all of May to read The Two Towers, but I decided to just go ahead and finish it off. I'm the kind of person where once I start reading the book, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it. But yeah, this was a lot better for me than the Fellowship of the Ring. You might remember that I talked about possibly giving up on the read-along because I found Fellowship of the Ring to be so slow. But this one turned out to have a lot more action, and also it's divided up into different groups of people, and so you're following three sets of people over the course of the book, so it moves a lot quicker in between the different groups. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed The Two Towers. I'm definitely looking forward to reading The Return of the King in June. Currently, I am reading two books, and I'm making pretty good progress on both of them, so I should finish them up in this next week. For my audiobook, I'm listening to Founding Mothers by Cokie Roberts, and I actually, as you can tell, have this on as a physical copy too, but I've been walking a lot more steps recently because working from home means I sit at my computer all day, so it takes a lot longer to reach my 10,000 steps in the evening. So I decided to go ahead and listen to this. This is really good on audio. Cokie Roberts narrates it herself. However, the way it's set up is kind of weird because it's what's called unabridged segments. So it's not the whole book. She'll narrate one chapter, and then it'll skip a couple chapters, and then it'll narrate another chapter. So it's like really weird, and I'm really glad I had the physical book for this because otherwise I would be missing like a lot of the book. But yeah, this is just what it sounds like. It's a biography of multiple different women. It has people that you would expect like Abigail Adams and Martha Washington, but then it also has several people that I had never heard of before. And y'all might remember that I'm really interested in Revolutionary War history, and I'm also very interested in women's history. So this is just right up my street, and I'm really enjoying this, and I'm glad I decided to pick up the audio, even though it is not complete, because I do think it would be harder for me to get through this book if I was just reading it as a physical book, because I do notice that when I have to read like chapters in the physical book, it's a slower read. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And then for the other book I'm reading Hiddensee, A Tale of the Once and Future Nutcracker by Gregory Maguire. This is our book club book for the month, and I think we're going to meet again on Zoom like we did last month. This is a very fairy tale retelling of the Nutcracker story, sort of. It's basically like a biography of what's his name, Dwarfmeyer, Drosselmeyer from the Nutcracker ballet, and it's still following his life, and he has interactions with like the forest spirits, and he had this incident where he came back to life, and it's okay. It's not my favorite. This is not something I would pick up unless it, like on my own. So it's okay, but I'm not like being. It's just okay. I'm just reading it because of book club. So that's all I've been reading lately. I'm actually looking forward to finishing up these books because I feel like in April, this whole month, I've been reading stuff that I feel like I have to read. And I am just, in May, I'm going to treat myself because it's my birthday month and I'm turning 30 and I'm going to be treating myself to reading like some books that I've been really excited to read and I've been like putting off. So I'm kind of looking forward to May. And I'm actually, once I finish these two books, I'll only have one more book on my April TBR, and I'll probably finish it before April's over. So maybe the last week of April, I can start on my like really fun, exciting books. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing okay and staying safe, and you're reading some great books. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.